Okay, so now I'm going to get to the really fun part of this. We're going to talk about the fan service. We're going to talk about all of the little elements with that tied to other Star Wars properties and what we liked or didn't like about them. I'm going to go with Eric.
Yep.
To start.
I think 90% of it worked really well. There were way more cameos than I expected, but look, I will say every one of them when I first saw them happen put a grin on my face. A couple afterwards.
What was your favorite?
Maybe Golden Red Leader. As far as just because I was like, oh, what? Of course, and that's the thing that made most of the cameos work so well is that they made sense for that they would be there, right? The one that really pops out to me is complete okay, this is pushing it. Is I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce these names right. Dr. Evazan and Panda Baba. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the fact that that's
two weirdos from the cantina.
The two guys from the cantina.
Who got their arm chopped off.
Just because that's more of a small universe thing. They're on Jeddah. I guess they're about to fly to Tatooine.
Yeah, I was gonna say they had to leave that day.
Yes.
Hey, we got a flight to catch.
That one sticks out to me. Because everyone else, even 3PO and R2, which you didn't need it, but they would be there.
It's good that they're. I do like. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. But I do like the fact that C3PO and R2D2 are part of the connective tissue of these films.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work for the Han Solo film, but I like that they're still kind of even if they're not the lead characters, they're still the constants in the series.
The only characters in every single Star Wars movie. Still.
Yeah.
And I really like them.
But then look, we knew already Mon Mothma and Bail Organa were there, but it was just cool to see all those ties. And then I really loved the idea of both seeing Gold Leader and Red Leader, which was used from footage from 40 years ago,
which looked amazing.
It was great. And then even the fact Red 5 dies during the fight, and that's Luke's call sign. So it's they have an opening, and a few days later, they're gonna meet Luke and be oh, you could be Red 5. We lost that guy. So, but it worked, So I think almost all of the fan service, and it was fan service, but it was very well done, and for the most part made sense.
Okay, so I want your opinion. We'll talk about fan service around a particular title in a little bit, but go ahead and jump in.
I thought the movie's strongest point was its fan service in a lot of ways. I thought that really just whenever the fan service happened, the crowd cheered and went wild, the Red Leader, Gold Leader thing. I was oh my god! And it was so great seeing it with a crowd that just loved Star Wars. Part of me wonders if the more casual people who don't like Star Wars like we do, how they take that. When Bail Organa is talking about the Jedi friend, do other people pick up on that? Do they get that little squeal of glee, like we do? I don't know. But a lot of it was just really well done, and not too much, but touches of sort of everything you love without overdoing it. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was really smart. Does Darth Vader whipping out the lightsaber
I was going to say, I feel like that
is
the biggest piece of fan service in the entire film.
And that worked too, just because I think we've never had a modern day movie where he was Darth Vader and got to make use of full special effects and do all these crazy things. It's like a horror movie. It's black. The saber turns on, blocks everything. Force chokes, slams them all across, takes their weapons, cuts through them all, goes through the door.
It was we're used to seeing Vader as the commander of Imperial forces, Vader directing things, Vader yelling at people, Vader killing subordinates. This was Vader fighting rebels in a way that we have never even seen any glimpse of before.
Yeah, I said there's some similar stuff in the book, Lords of the Sith, that reading it, I was oh, this is thrilling. This would be amazing in a movie. And so to actually see it happen in a movie, that was pretty incredible. And just because, bringing Darth Vader back at all, it's both exciting but a little risky. Are you going to dilute him more? But then instead of, I think this is a scary Vader we've never seen before in a movie. So.
This is the Jason Voorhees Darth Vader in space. The minute you hear the sound, you hear him breathe, and you see the lightsaber, you're like, uh-oh.
Those poor white helmeted bastards.
He's going to cut those little vests off.
But no, it was super cool. And even just while we're talking about Darth Vader, their use of Vader, I thought was so well done. Very sparingly of
Yes.
just the one scene, and we get to see Vader's castle, like vast castle.
That was awesome.
And then sort of him in his chamber, and he has the guards watching over him. And then when he
Just
comes out,
enough to let us speculate more about what's happening
you
there.
can't quite see him.
Yeah.
And then when he talks to Krennic, I was surprised they actually created another quotable, sort of iconic Vader line with "Careful not to choke on your aspirations." And I was like, oh yeah.
I've seen some people debate that. Some people don't like that he's punny there, but I thought it worked.
He's
Does that
punny
Vader?
in general in other places.
Vader, he seemed to just take such sadistic joy in saying it while choking him
Yeah.
that I just thought it worked so well.
I
Like, James
agree.
Earl Jones delivering that line is so like deep and like makes your rib cage rattle because the theater speakers are so loud. And I was like, I'm there, I'm down. I'm gonna be saying that to people, and I'm gonna go like this.
And it's funny because we all joked about what the hell is he doing in that picture.
Yeah.
That's what
Now
he's
we
doing.
know.
Yeah.
It was also nice seeing the Imperial Guard, although I do feel like they were misplaced on Bass Castle. I'm like, should have been stormtroopers in there. But then maybe they're there to keep Vader's secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's EU stuff though, where he had his own stormtrooper battalion, and
Yeah.
now I guess he just borrows Imperial guards when
Yeah.
he's taking a bath back
I
to back.
figure you'd have some 501st guys there, but whatever.